Heavenly Father, we stand here entrusted with the responsibility to serve the people, to listen with. May we approach our work with humility, courage, and a steadfast.
Please sit down. The meeting of the Special Committee on Food Security is now called to order. Is there a motion to dispense with the...
I move to, Mr. Chair, good morning. I move to dispense with the calling of roll.
There is a motion from our Senior Vice Chair.
Seconded.
Seconded. Okay na? Opo. So, to my welcome remarks, Senior Vice Chair Lagdameo, Vice Chairs, Honorable Members of the Committee, colleagues, friends in public service, sa inyo pong lahat na nandito, isang maganda at mapagpalayang umaga. Sa hearing na ito, palalawakin natin ang pag-unawa sa konsepto ng food security. Hindi lamang ito tungkol sa pagsasaka, kasama po dito ang cold storage facilities. Importante po ang cold storage sa food security dahil kapag may access sa cold storage ang magsasaka, hindi siya pwersadong ipagbili sa mga kontratista ang kanyang ani. May nakaimbak din tayong pagkain na maaaring paghugutan ng supply tuwing kailangan. So today, we will tackle bills on food storage. We will also tackle today a small matter on declaring a National Food Security Day. It is to get all of us on the same page pagdating sa food security. It is a way of, for agencies and different sectors to come together and seriously consider efforts to bolster our country's food security. We will also hear from NIA on its ongoing food security efforts. Irrigation po ang nasa pinakamahalagang component ng agrikultura. Mahalaga din po ang water management infrastructure sa ang irigasyon. We will also continue to tackle food waste reduction bills and hopefully we can approve the committee report today. Sa muli po, maraming salamat sa inyo and let us proceed on today's hearing. At this juncture, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our esteemed colleagues on our committee, Senior Vice Chairperson Jose Manuel Lagdameo of the 2nd District of Davao del Norte, Representative Siriaco Gato Jr. of the Lone District of Batanes, Representative Jennifer Lagbas, 1st District Misamis Oriental, and Representative Eugelio Rodriguez, Lone District of Catanduanes, and from the minority, Representative Arlene Ayon, Suerte Party List. Committee Secretary, please acknowledge our resource person present this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are honored by the presence of the following resource persons, namely from the Department of Agriculture, Undersecretary Cheryl Marie Natividad Caballero, Undersecretary for High Value Crops, Dr. John C. De Leon, Director for the Philippine Rice Research Institute, Assistant Secretary Dan Ataide for Logistics. From the Department of Health, we have Dr. Clarito Cairo, OIC Chief, DPCB, Mr. Christian Jebsen Bandong, Nutrition Officer, Ms. Gladys Pascual of FDA. From the Philippine Fisheries Development Authority, we have Engineer Tito Rodriguez. And from the Philippine Statistics Authority, we have Mr. Renante Santos. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Comsec. The first item in our business is the is there a motion to dispense with the reading of the previous meetings?
Mr. Chair, I move to dispense with the reading of minutes.
There is a motion by our Senior Vice Chair to dispense with the reading of the previous minutes. Any second?
Seconded.
Seconded by the majority. So next in the agenda is the Ah, alin, saan muna tayo? Okay na. Oo. Sunod po sa ating agenda is the initial consideration of measures on the establishment of cold storage facilities. I now recognize the authors of the following measures to deliver their sponsorship speeches and expound upon their salient provisions of their respected bills. Allow me to outline the important aspects of House Bill 4223, an act establishing a national program for post-harvest cold chain and logistic infrastructure to strengthen food security and for other purposes, authored by this honorable chair. My sponsorship, I'll let my explanatory note be my sponsorship speech. And also House Bill number 1711, an act establishing food security cold storage facility in every province of the country and appropriating funds thereof, authored by Representative Angelo Marcos Barba, who is not here.
So, adopt na lang yung both. We'll adopt both explanatory.
Mr. Chair,
Yes po.
if I may, on behalf of Representative Angelo Marcos Barba, who is not around, I wish to sponsor his bill for this morning and move that the explanatory note attached to House Bill 1771 be adopted as his sponsorship speech.
There is a motion that the explanatory note of Congressman Angelo Barba, his explanatory note be adopted as his sponsorship speech. May we now hear comments sa ating mga resource person? Alin mo na dito? From the Department of Agriculture. Yes po ma'am, good morning.
Magandang umaga po, Mr. Chair, at sa ating honorable members of the committee. In behalf of the Department of Agriculture, allow me please to read our policy statement. On food waste reduction, improved storage, and sustainable demand-aligned local food systems, we support the proposed bills to ensure a resilient, efficient, and inclusive food system. The government commits to reducing food wastes across all stages of the supply chain, strengthening cold storage and consolidation infrastructure, and adopting data-driven production planning aligned with urban consumption patterns. We further declare our alignment with the Food and Agriculture Organization's National Food Day through the institutionalization of a National Food Security Day, which will serve as a national call to action for responsible production, responsible consumption, and collective efforts to achieve food security. Accordingly, the DA and the government agencies, local government units, public markets, farmer organizations, private sector stakeholders, and civil society are encouraged to undertake coordinated actions to address the following: improve post-harvest handling and reduce farm-level and market-level losses. Number 2, upgrade consolidation and storage systems for perishable agricultural produce. Number 3, promote accurate market-responsive production planning and crop calendar adoption. And number 4, mobilize communities and institutions to participate in food waste reduction and sustainable food systems initiatives. This policy support affirms the Department of Agriculture's collective responsibility, call for collective responsibility to protect our food supply, uplift farmer livelihoods, and ensure that every Filipino has access to safe, affordable, and nutritious food today and for future generations. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Yusek. Can we hear a comment from the Philippine Fisheries Development Authority? Engineer Rodriguez. Sir, you are recognized.
Yes, good morning po. Good morning sa atin lahat. In behalf of the Philippine Fisheries Development Authority, we are already since we are mandated to provide fishery post-harvest facility in agriculture, and not only in fisheries but on agriculture. We are already implementing right now some of these facilities mentioned. For 2026, we have already planned some facilities all over the Philippines, and hopefully it will be in support of this bill. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Engineer. Yes, Director De Leon.
Mr. Chair, just to manifest po also from the Department of Agriculture, Phil Rice. Natuwa po kami when we were invited noong September to attend yung hearing na to on the various bills because they are so consistent with our initiative also on so-called demand management. Although we are working more on the rice, pero makakatulong po to that if we can marry the initiatives on demand management as we try to increase the production side, then maybe we can achieve rice security and self-sufficiency and food security faster than we imagine po. Thank you po, sir.
Thank you, Director De Leon. Department of Health, Dr. Cairo, you are recognized, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. So on the measures on the establishment of cold storage facilities, the Department of Health supports the intent of the proposed bills on the establishment of cold storage facilities that would integrate program for post-harvest systems, cold chain infrastructure, and logistics management that is essential for ensuring stable food supply, protecting farmer livelihoods, and making nutritious food more affordable for Filipino households. Food security remains one of the most pressing challenges in the Philippines, exacerbated by natural calamities such as typhoons, climate vulnerability, fragmented supply chains, and inadequate post-harvest infrastructure. Despite being an agricultural nation, the country experiences significant food losses due to inefficient logistics, insufficient cold storage capacity, and outdated transport systems for perishable goods. The proposed measure, which seeks to establish coherent national framework to modernize the agricultural value chain, is both timely and essential for achieving long-term sustainable food security. The DOH believes that the proposed measure seeks to create a coherent national framework that will modernize the agricultural value chain, reduce wastage, expand storage capacity, and improve the transportation of perishable goods nationwide. By establishing a coherent national framework that modernizes the value chain, expands storage capacity, reduces wastage, and improves transport for perishable goods, the country can significantly strengthen food security and improve the livelihoods of millions of Filipino farmers. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cairo. Any other, baka may gusto pa pong mag-comment sa ibang agencies? Wala na po.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Kong Gato.
I move that we consolidate House Bill number 4233 and House Bill number 1711 and come up with a consolidated and substitute bill subject to style and amendment. I so move, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion to consolidate House Bill number 4233 and House Bill 1711, subject to Secretary Style. Any second?
Second.
Seconded. The motion is hereby approved. Unfortunately,
Mr. Chair,
yes, Congressman
with the
Rodriguez.
authority of the proponent of this bill, all members are present via quorum. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
There is a motion from Congressman Rodriguez that all members Present today, B. Authors. Take note, Comsec.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yes, while I manifest my support to the bills which was just approved earlier on, may I please pose just one question to DA regarding cold storage?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The measures which we have just discussed on the floor today was regarding cold storage to be provided for post-harvest. Initially, this will improve the situation of our farmers in the country as this will be situated in the provinces. May I know, please, if we also have cold storage for the main ports here in Metro Manila? Because as I understand, for so many years, every time there is port congestion in the main ports of Manila, the absence or lack of cold storage facility becomes one of the main problems. So if I could please ask the DA if you still confirm that the problem still subsists, and considering that we have these bills answering for problems of the farmers in the provinces, would you suggest that there should also be a cold storage facility in the main ports of Metro Manila?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, ma'am, for your question. Yes, in fact po, for Metro Manila, we are looking at the facilities inside the Philippine Fisheries Development Authority in Navotas. So that's a facility that's supposed to serve not only fish products, but also vegetables. Because of the high spoilage. Considering that our presence here in Metro Manila is made available through these institutions. We don't have a regional office in Metro Manila, and so the lodging of budget is not feasible. However, it was addressed through the presence of the PFDA in Navotas, because that fish port can still handle portion of the storage for vegetables aside from the fish. Aside from this, meron pong agro-industrial business corridor that has been, I would say has been, because during the pandemic, it was already planned out, and the BFAR is implementing it in a 3-hectare, 4-hectare facility donated by the local government of Taguig and DNR's LLDA. So these are the 2 sites that are owned by the government and was really identified to be the staging area for storage in Metro Manila. If ever there would be another pandemic po to happen. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and the Honorable Congresswoman for the questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to follow up. So are you saying that these facilities will be enough to address the recurrence of possible problems which you have encountered before?
Yes po. Basically, the idea of storage is that it will just be for temporary use. So, because it's not economically feasible if we store it for a long time. And so the positioning of those storages, which will serve both meat and non-meat products, vegetables generally, should any point in time, enable us to work with the local government units as the distribution system through the Kadewa network will be realized. So just last week, we were in discussion with MMDA and we received the request of all the 17 cities to establish po yung distribution center naman sa Kadiwa. So the idea po is that from the south, meron po tayo dito sa ABC, Agro-Industrial Business Corridor in Taguig, and in the north, we have the Navotas Fishport initially, the PFDA facility initially. But it would be nice also if we could work back along on the quadrants, because we were looking before here in what do you call this? May additional 2 pa po which was not funded. This is in the Marikina, Quezon City border, and then another one in Parañaque po. So thank you, Mr. Chair and Honorable Congresswoman.
Thank you, Yusek. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Are there any other questions from the... Yes po, Director De Leon.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Madam Congresswoman, I think it can also be added na yung concept po nitong mga cold storages and maybe warehouses in general if we can marry that with the concept of yung food mile, that the longer the food mile, mas marami tayong cost and wastage. So if we can, actually as a government, the whole of government can think of it na parang we allow the smooth flow of the logistics para itong mga strategic location ng ating mga storages can really reduce the food mile. Meron din po yung food mile na doon manggagaling yung food. Meron din po yung consumer na mile na tatawirin para mapa-facilitate po lahat. Just an additional idea, ma'am. Thank you po.
Well, Mr. Chair, that would be a good idea. Then perhaps once these bills will be passed, your inputs should be included in the implementing rules.
Thank you. Yung iba po may tatanong pa sa DA. Ako may tanong sana ako. This chair would like to ask Yusek, may guidelines na po ba kayo na napalabas para sa Coffee Competitiveness Fund?
Thank you for asking po. Yes, sir. Actually, nagkaroon po ng discussions na. It's about to be signed by the secretary. We had to do some sort of consultations muna to make sure that the inclusion of smallholder coffee farmers would be included over and above the offtake agreements with potential buyers na po, because the Competitiveness Enhancement Measures Fund is aimed to really boost the efficiency at the production level and connect the farmers to a readily available market. So that was fleshed out in terms of the implementing guidelines po. But it will soon be released. Tapos na po kami sa legal scrubbing, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you po, Yusek. If pag na-release na po, please.
We'll keep you posted
give
po
us a copy.
within the day where it is now.
Thank you, Yusek.
Salamat po.
Okay po. Next in the agenda is the initial consideration for the of the measure on the declaration of the National Food Security Day. House Bill number 4224, an act declaring October 16 of every year as National Food Security Day in consonance with the celebration of World Food Day and for other purposes, authored by yours truly. Buti pa ito ginawa kong February 1, birthday ko. May I hear comments and suggestions siguro from the DA?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we actually support it as it also aligns with the National Food Day, which was declared by the FAO, World Food Day. But the World Food Day is also aiming to address the food insecurity context and malnutrition. So the declaration now of a National Food Security Day would be very apt and complementary to the ideas in the 1940s. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Yusek. Any other comments po from the other agencies or resource person? Yes po, Dr. Cairo.
Yes, for the Department of Health, on the measure on the declaration of National Food Security Day, food security is a cornerstone of national development, social stability, and public welfare. In the Philippines, persistent challenges such as climate change and natural calamities such as typhoons results to supply chain inefficiencies, rising food prices, and vulnerabilities in agricultural production that continue to threaten the availability, accessibility, and affordability of food. In this context, the proposal to designate a National Food Security Day serves as a strategic initiative to raise awareness, mobilize stakeholders, and strengthen multi-sectoral commitment toward achieving sustainable and resilient food systems. The DOH expresses strong support for the declaration of a National Food Security Day as a national observance that can help promote policy coherence, public participation, and long-term solutions to the country's food security challenges. The following are recommended activities that could be adopted in the observance of National Food Security Day. Number 1, conduct of annual national and local activities such as food system summits, agricultural fairs, stakeholder dialogues, and educational campaigns. Number 2, integrate food security themes into school curricula during the annual observance week to cultivate early awareness. Number 3, promote public-private partnerships to support innovation in logistics, cold chain systems, digital agriculture, and climate-smart farming. Number 4, highlight the role of science and research, particularly in crop improvement, climate resilience, post-harvest technologies, and supply chain optimization. And number 5, encourage community-led initiatives such as barangay community gardens, community kitchens, and food waste reduction campaigns. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cairo, and duly well noted. Before we continue, I would like to acknowledge one of our members from the majority, Representative Lani Mercado Revilla, 2nd District, Cavite. Thank you po. Any other comments po from other agencies? Wala na?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Senior Vice Chair.
I move to approve House Bill 4224, an act declaring October 16th of every year as National Food Security Day in consonance with the celebration of World Food Day and other purposes, authored by Honorable Chairman Raymond Adrian Salceda. I so move.
There's a motion approving House Bill number 4224. Any second?
A second.
Seconded. The motion is hereby approved.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Yes po, Kong Lani.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, to all members. I would like to move, if it would be allowed by the author, that all members present be part and co-authors of the said measure, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion by Congressman Lani that all members present be co-authors of the said bill.
I second.
Seconded and approved. Unfortunately, one of our resource person, the National Irrigation Administration, could not attend. Supposedly there would be a briefing and a presentation on their significant role in advancing food security in the Philippines as a key agency responsible for development and management. Marami sana tayong katanungan din. But nonetheless, we will proceed to the next agenda and continue inviting them again sa mga susunod na committee hearing. Last in the agenda is the continuation of the deliberation of measures pertaining to the reduction of food waste through food donation initiatives and food waste recycling programs. Para po sa mga hindi nakapag-attend ng organizational meeting last October 18 and September 9 meeting, I would like to inform you that the principal authors of the first 4 measures on food waste reduction were given the opportunity to present their key provisions. Also, several of our partner agencies and NGOs shared their insight and recommendations, details of which may be reviewed in the September 9 minutes for easy reference. Moreover, on the said meeting, the committee directed the Secretariat to draft the substitute bill for approval in today's meeting. However, since several similar measures have been referred to the committee, we will allow the authors to discuss their bill before the approval of the substitute bill. Let me now welcome any of the authors who would like to share with the body their sponsorship speech or to expound upon their salient provisions of their respected bills to help us in today's deliberation and in improving our substitute bill. I now recognize Is there any member who would like to sponsor?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Senior
I
Vice
move
Chair.
that the explanatory note of House Bill 5118, authored by Honorable Audrey Suviri, serve as the sponsorship speech. I so move.
Second. There's a motion that the explanatory note be their sponsorship speech on House Bill 5118, duly seconded and approved. Before we continue, would like to acknowledge Congressman Sultay, author of House Bill 489. Kasan? House Bill 849.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Congressman Lala.
Yes, I was requested by Representative Agatha Paula Aguilar Cruz, author of House Bill 4937, to sponsor her bill entitled An Act Institutionalizing Food Stewardship, Establishing a National Framework for Food Waste Reduction, Recovery, and Redistribution, Providing Incentives and Support Mechanisms, and for other purposes, Mr. Chair. And I would like to move that her explanatory note be used as her sponsorship speech based on House Bill 4937. I so move, Mr. Chair.
I second.
There is a motion by Congressman Lani that the explanatory note of Representative Agatha Cruz be her sponsorship speech for House Bill 4937.
Mr. Chair, with respect to House Bill number 4725, and on behalf of Representatives Rufus Rodriguez and Maximo Rodriguez Jr., I wish to sponsor the bill for this morning and move that the explanatory note attached to House Bill 4725 be adopted as a sponsorship speech, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion duly seconded and approved. Also, House Bill number 4405, authored by yours truly, and 5893, authored by Representative Plato, that their explanatory notes be adopted as their sponsorship speech. So, who would like to hear any comments? Additional comments? Yes po, Dr. Cairo.
Yes, for the DOH, on the measures on food waste reduction, the DOH expresses strong support for legislative initiatives aimed at reducing food waste and loss across the entire food value chain. Proposed measures that strengthen post-harvest systems, encourage food recovery, and promote responsible consumption, which are essential to ensuring a secure, sustainable, and resilient national food system. The Food Donation Act of 2009, or Republic Act number 9803, is a Philippine law that encourages the donation of surplus, but still wholesome, food to reduce poverty and food waste. It provides legal protection to donors by exempting them from civil or criminal liability for good faith donations. Its implementing rules and regulations could be served as reference to outline the coordinating mechanisms, the scope of the law, and specific procedures for food donation while providing liability protection for donors. Specifically, the following are the comments on each specific House bills. Number 1, HB 1313, Section 7, letter C, suggests to change the word accredited to trained and include the Department of Agriculture and its attached related food safety regulatory agencies, such as the National Meat Inspection Service, to write as, before a donation is made, a duly trained health inspectors of the LGU will check if the edible food surplus is fit for consumption based on the standards set by the National Nutrition Council, Food and Drug Administration, and Department of Agriculture, and is attached related food safety regulatory agencies such as the National Meat Inspection Service. Number 2, HB 2196, Section 11, Accreditation and Training of Health Inspectors. Delete the word accreditation and include the Department of Agriculture to write as Training of Health Inspectors. The FDA, in coordination with DA, shall conduct seminars and provide adequate training to LGU health inspectors regarding the proper sorting, collection, and determination of edible and inedible food surplus. Number 3, Section 3H6, landfill/incineration, last resort to disposal. To delete the word incineration, as this is a banned technology, and change to other improved technology to write as Section 3H6, landfill/other approved technology, last resort to disposal. Number 4, HB 4405, Section 9, letter B, food donation safe harbor standards, to change the word DA, Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Standards, BFBS, to DA and its related attached agencies, to write as letter B standards, the Food and Drug Administration and Department of Agriculture attached related food safety regulatory agencies, that is Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Standards, National Meat Inspection Service, Bureau of Fisheries, shall within 90 days issue simplified safety and handling protocols for donation, cold chain integrity, labeling, and traceability. Number 5, HB 4937, Section 6, letter E, safe final disposal. Landfilling or incineration shall be used as strictly as last resort and only when. To delete the word incineration and change to any approved technology, to write as safe final disposal. Landfilling or any other approved technology shall be used as strictly as last resort and only when. And number 6, Section 7, number 3, to add the word Food Safety Act of 2013 and DA in the phrase, to write as number 3, ensure full compliance to Food Safety Act of 2013 in terms of applicable safety, packaging, labeling, and traceability protocols, including cold chain handling, food-grade containers, and voluntary date labeling adjustments where permitted by FDA, DA, and DTI guidelines. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cairo. Are there any other? Yes po, Director De Leon.
Mr. Chair, just to add po, maybe the committee is aware there's a document from the EU. It is not, of course, to borrow a foreign concept, but they have advancements already in this area on food redistribution and surplus food. Baka po pwedeng tignan lang din yon, and then we fit it to our particular situation in the country. And then, Mr. Chair, the context of food security and even sufficiency and food systems, maganda po, sir, na i-jive din natin to dun sa tinatawag natin, which we learned so much about nung, well, it's not a good reference nung nagka-pandemic, but food security is always a national concern and the whole of government concern. Kaya po, timely din po yung inyong pre-propose na magkaroon ng National Food Security Day, kasi it will remind us that food security, food sufficiency is everyone's business po, and it is the whole of government that should act, and every Filipino should contribute. Thank you po.
Thank you, Dr. De Leon. Director De Leon. Duly noted. Before we continue, I would like to acknowledge one of our members, Representative Brian Daniel Po of FPJ Panday Bayanihan, author of House Bill 2196, and Representative Sara Elago, Gabriela Party List. So, are there any other comments? Or, yes po.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair. No? From National Nutrition Council, as the country's highest policymaking and coordinating body on nutrition, respectfully expresses its support for the legislative measures on reducing food waste. One, the proposed legislation aligns with the objectives of the PDP, specifically on Chapter 3, that ensures reduction of vulnerabilities and protecting purchasing power by ensuring that consumers have access to affordable, safe, and nutritious food, as well as the proposed legislation aligns with the Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition 2023 to 2028, particularly on the framework on healthy diets, which is the foundation of health and well-being for the development of all life stages. Just for manifestation on our recommendation for the legislative measures that are being discussed for today, the NNC respectfully offers the following recommendation to enhance the proposed legislation. One, implement waste reduction programs such as consumer education campaigns and tax incentives for food donations by establishment to address food waste at the national and subnational level. Second, conduct info dissemination activities within communities and schools so as to the regards on economic, health, and nutritional impacts of food waste. Third, conduct capacity building initiatives for households, focusing on menu planning, on proper storage, resource conservation, as well as food recycling. Fourth would be incorporate measures to require food establishments to address the social, ecological, and environmental consequences of food wastage. Fifth, establish regular monitoring assessment mechanisms for plate waste policies and food consumption in food services and establishments. Six, collaborate with the Department of Agriculture to establish strategic post-harvest facilities for local food production. Try to strategize clustered regional food hubs for improved market access, particularly for small and mid-sized local food producers. Increase economic benefits for these producers, enhance consumer access to fresh, healthy, and locally sourced foods, strengthen the overall regional food system by providing aggregation, distribution, and processing services, and promoting sustainability by reducing food waste and supporting rural development. Last two recommendation would be promote the consumption of optimized brown rice to help reduce losses in rice production. And lastly, encourage use of information education materials such as the Pinggan Pinoy as the dietary guide to inform appropriate portion sizes and minimize food wastage. That would be all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Bandong. Also, the chair would like to request the resource person to please submit your position papers para ma-include them. Any other comments? Yes, Congressman Brian Poe, you are recognized.
If I could say a few words regarding the Waste Reduction Act. Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, good morning. I stand before you to present a measure rooted not just in policy but in principle and empathy. I respectfully seek your unanimous support for House Bill number 2196, the Food Waste Reduction Act. Our Constitution guarantees the fundamental human right to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food. Yet, we are faced with a shameful paradox. Perfectly edible food is discarded daily, while the latest SWS survey reveals approximately 1 in 5 Filipino families still endure the pain of involuntary hunger. We must correct this moral outrage where the hungry walk past overflowing dumpsters. The Food Waste Reduction Act is our systemic solution. It establishes a comprehensive nationwide framework to address food waste through a dual strategy of redistribution and recycling. First, on redistribution. This bill mandates covered food-related businesses to segregate and donate their edible surplus. We are replacing arbitrary disposal with organized compassion. This involves clear, actionable steps, segregating at the source, inspecting by accredited LGU inspectors, and seamless donation to accredited food banks who, in coordination with the DSWD and LGUs, will deliver this life-sustaining food directly to the food insecure. Crucially, this legislation provides liability protection. I can't underscore this any more than this. Liability protection for certified food donors, removing the primary legal deterrent that currently prevents countless food from reaching those in need. Second, of course, is recycling. We address the environmental burden of inedible waste. This act requires local government units to coordinate with waste management enterprises to transform what is currently garbage into valuable resources, specifically nutrient-rich fertilizers and compost. This initiative cleans our communities, supports our agricultural sector, and contributes significantly to a truly circular economy. Mr. Chair, this bill upholds the constitutional right to food, institutionalizes responsible consumption across the entire supply chain, and fundamentally converts surplus into resources, whether that resource is sustenance for a struggling family or fertilizer for a farm. This is not a partisan issue. It is a human issue. I implore my colleagues, let us convert our food surplus from a source of waste into a powerful instrument of dignity and national betterment. I respectfully move for the immediate and earnest approval of House Bill 2196. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Brian Poe. Any other comments? Yes, from the Department of Agriculture. Yusek.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'd like to take this opportunity din po to mention that the Department of Agriculture has created the Agriculture and Fisheries Logistics Office just to put a structure from the national level down to the local level on how food waste can be addressed. So if you may allow me to read some of these initiatives that being undertaken and if it may be considered po doon sa proposed legislation.
Yes, continue po, Yusek.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Food waste in the Philippines occurs predominantly at the farm level during consolidation and in public markets driven by post-harvest losses, inadequate cold chain storage facilities, poor coordination in supply planning, and mismatches between production and actual consumption in urban centers where land use competes with agricultural production. We propose the following policy objectives. 1, to reduce food waste by at least 20 to 30% in farms, consolidation points, and public markets. 2, to improve the shelf life of perishables by 25 to 40% through upgraded post-harvest systems. 3, stabilize farmer income and local food availability by aligning production planning with urban consumption patterns. And 4, develop a responsive, data-driven local food system using integrated crop calendars and demand forecasting. The following are our proposed strategies, some of which are being undertaken by the DA. 1 is to reduce food waste at the source by adopting a standardized farm-level post-harvest handling to include the use of plastic crates instead of plastics that are being used to wrap vegetables, provide training on proper harvesting maturity indices, and establish farm waste reduction protocols such as grading, sorting, and rapid cooling. The rapid cooling is currently being tested in partnership with experts coming from Japan. So this is still being finalized, but the model is documented. B is to also introduce farmer market contracting by expanding the LGU's facilitation between farmers and public market vendors and to incentivize adherence to volume and quality commitments. 3 Number 2 is to reduce waste in public markets by providing market infrastructure modernization, such as establishing designated cold storage areas for perishables, and integrate display units in wholesale food markets, as well as standardized market sanitation and sorting areas. We also would like to request the inclusion of the storage consolidation at food consolidation hubs so as to provide a mechanism for cold chain logistics partnerships by providing incentives through public-private community partnerships and encourage public markets to invest on cold chain. The inclusion also of demand to production forecasting so that the local government units simultaneously can help analyze the data from public market sales, retail chains, school and hotel institutional procurement, and translate this to a suggested planting schedule and expected volumes for farmers. The last is to encourage the urban-rural food flow coordination and set up the food system councils to coordinate between farmer groups, market administrators, transporters or logistics partners, retailers, and consumer groups. Lastly, the encouragement of a climate-smart production will allow us to address the planting schedules, short duration varieties, and support farmers with crop insurance, price stabilization schemes, and input subsidies based on priority crops. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Yuseng. I guess the chair would like to get a statement from the PSA. Mr. Reynante A. Santos, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And to other House of Representatives here, thank you for inviting us, and of course to our colleagues in the different line agencies. So on behalf of the Philippine Statistics Authority as the central statistical authority of the Philippine government on primary data collection and being mandated to plan, develop, prescribe, disseminate, and enforce policies, rules, and regulation, and coordinate government-wide programs governing the production of official statistics, general-purpose statistics, of course, the civil registration services, and inclusive identification system. We strongly support the supposed bills on establishing cold storages and reduction of food losses and food waste. So, as such, we have agriculture data as being collected. We have one census activity, so the Census of Agriculture and Fishery Survey. We have 13 agricultural surveys for collecting production data for crops, livestock, poultry, and fisheries. And of course, we are collaborating with other government agencies on administrative data. So we are using data from the CDSDP, the compilation of data from slaughterhouses and poultry dressing plants. So these are from the LGUs, data on dairy animals from NDA and PCC, data on sugar regulatory administration, and the data on fish unloadings and non-traditional landing centers that could be used as indicator in establishing cold storages. That is in terms of the capacity of if we are intending to put up cold storages in the provinces. And of course, other than that, we have activities on social sector. So we have data on subsistence incidence, that's for food poverty, magnitude of food poor. We also have the labor force surveys, which we could have the employed person in agriculture, forestry, and fishing. And of course, we are conducting the family income and expenditure survey. That could be a very strong indicator in all the supposed bills. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion for the approval of the substitute bill for the proposed measures, subject to the amendments of the members for House Bill numbers 849, 133, 2196, 2556, 4405, 4725, 4937, 5118, and 5893 on food waste reduction.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Senior Vice Chair.
I move for the approval of the substitute bill on the proposed measures subject to style.
Any second?
Second.
Upon motion duly seconded, the substitute bill is hereby approved, and the Secretariat is directed to prepare the committee report for the... yes, Congressman Lani.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I would like to request the authors, if they would allow the other members who are present in this committee hearing to be co-authors of the said measure, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Duly seconded. All members present be co-authors of the said bills, incorporating the amendments made by the members. Prepare the committee report, COMSEC. So, on behalf of the Special Committee on Food Security, gusto ko pong ipaabot ang aming taus-pusong pagpapasalamat po sa inyong lahat, the key government agencies, for your vital contributions. We sincerely appreciate your generous commitment and time, knowledge, and insight in deliberating the proposed measures aimed at national food security. Please rest assured of the committee's unwavering support for all your initiatives. We eagerly anticipate ongoing collaborations to ensure the effective implementation of programs that will benefit every Filipino. Kung wala na pong ibang matters na pag-uusapan, alam ko gutom na kayo, masyado nang seryoso.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn our meeting for this morning.
I second.
Upon motion and duly seconded, the third meeting for the Special Committee on Food Security is hereby adjourned. Thank you and good afternoon. Ay! Kong Kaiton. Hindi ko nakita kong pagdating.
Lista ko na.
Ay, si Kong, ito pala.
For our attendance.
Thank you. Sayang, wala talaga yung... Mas maganda sana. Yeah. May ano sana talaga ako sa media.